Episode 78 of the Thunder Underground podcast. My name is Trent, and I'm joined by Jason.
What's going on?
Not much. I'm excited.
Why are you excited?
Because half or 2/5 of Sons of Texas is here today.
Oh, I know. That's badass.
Yes. Yeah, we got Jon Olivares returning to the podcast.
Of course.
And this time, Jes De Hoyos is with him as well.
Yeah, that was great. That was awesome.
Yeah, both guitarists from Sons of Texas. If you've listened to us for any length of time, you know we're big fans of this band.
Yeah, they were our number one album of 2015, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, go back to the, I don't know what number it was, but the last episode of 2015 was our best of, like anyone in this position does. You got to tell everybody what your favorite is. And ours, of course, was Sons of Texas.
Yes.
Was number one on the list.
Of course.
Above things like Night Flight Orchestra and Winery Dogs and what else? Other great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it surpassed all of that.
Yeah.
Because that album is just that damn good.
Yes. So that is one album that if you do not have yet, you must get.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about that here in just a bit when we get into that interview. But before we do that, we want to talk about a couple other things and, of course, play some music.
Yeah.
You want to play the music first?
Yeah, let's get into the tunage.
All right. This is a band out of Phoenix, Arizona called Xpansion Theory. And this track is called Black Eye of God, and it's the title track from their forthcoming album. So check this out. That was Black Eye of God from Xpansion Theory. That's the title track on an album they've got coming out soon, so be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, they've got other stuff up on Reverb Nation you can check out.
Yeah. I
think that song is a good calling card for why they're called Xpansion Theory, because you got to expand your mind really with this. It's like a lot of stuff's going on, and it's a lot of good stuff. It starts out System of a Down-ish, then goes into that break, that real heavy, metal stuff, and it's just back and forth, and it works well together. It sounds great. You can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, it kind of has this hard alternative thing going on, and then it just kicks in and just turns your brain to mush. And I mean, that's really a good thing when it comes to music, right?
Yeah.
And there's just a great band, and they've came on our radar quite a while ago when we were just kind of doing Instagram stuff or whatever,
Right.
And so we're glad to finally get them on. And just so you know, when you're looking them up on Facebook or Reverb Nation, it's just Xpansion Theory, no E, just Xpansion. There you go.
Yep.
And that's how you'll find them. And definitely hit these guys up and check out more of their stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, they're on Reverb Nation. You can listen to their stuff and be on the lookout for this album called Black Eye of God.
Yes. I can't wait to hear the whole thing.
Yeah, and I'm sure once it comes out, we'll bring you a review or something.
Oh, for sure.
Like we tend to do.
Yes.
And speaking of that, there's a review up of Screaming Red Mutiny's new EP, which is another thing you guys need to check out if you have not yet.
That's right. Go read it and then listen to it.
Yes.
Or listen to it and then read the review. Or just listen to the damn EP. That's the most important thing because it fucking rules.
Right. All right. Well, first off, yesterday, I guess.
Yeah.
We can say, because this is coming out after we record it, whatever. No one needs to know the behind the scene details here. But yesterday, Temple of the Dog.
Yes.
announced 5 tour dates. And that kind of shocked me, kind of came out of the blue, because I'd seen all this stuff about this reissue of the album, for the 25th anniversary. It's, they're releasing it like, people tend to do a ton of different ways.
Oh, yeah.
Double CD with all the extra stuff, a 4 LP, or a single regular one, with just the remastered album, all that stuff for the 25th anniversary. And if you know anything about it, they never went on tour. I think they played like a show or something back then once, if I remember right. So it kind of blew up on the internet because everybody was going nuts. And it kind of sucks that if you're in the middle of the country, there's nothing around here. There's no Chicago, Denver, Texas, anything like that. It's all New York, Philly, California, and Seattle.
Yep, coastal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something to definitely think about. They're all in November. I mean, I know the chance that I do, it's kind of slim, but I'm considering it, so.
Hey, why not?
We'll let you know if it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things when I thought about it, I'm like, well, yeah, why not? All those guys are still around and they still play. I'm surprised it hadn't happened sooner.
Right.
So, I mean, I never really got much into that record, but for people love that shit. So I'm really happy that they're getting back together. They're going to make a lot of people happy.
Yeah.
Wish they do a little bit more than 5 dates, but, whatever.
You never know.
And yeah.
They're going to all sell out instantly. So
oh, yeah.
It could be one of those things that they do it again next year or in a few years or something.
Yeah. And you said, Seattle, you bet Eddie Vedder comes out.
Yeah.
Sings Hunger Strike, yeah.
That'd be my guess if he's going to do it anywhere.
Yeah, it'd be
likely
there.
Would be there.
Probably.
Would make the most sense. They're also playing Madison Square Garden, so that's another.
Yeah, that is.
I think the other 4 dates were all like theater, like big theaters.
Yeah.
Except for New York, for some reason, is in Madison Square Garden, which they could fill it up.
I'm sure, they'll fill it.
It's just kind of weird that they didn't do the other towns and big places as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, that is weird.
But yeah, so looking forward to that, that, or at least seeing live footage, because there will be abundance of it.
Oh yeah, be on the lookout. I bet they do a DVD and all that crap.
Yeah.
I bet they do that.
It'd be smart, because it's easy money.
Yeah, especially if that is all they're going to do.
Yeah. Maybe they'll pull out some some other Love Bone tracks, because
they could.
Because Cornell can pull it off. Most people couldn't pull off Andrew Wood vocals and do it justice, but if anyone can, it's Chris Cornell.
It's Cornell. That's right.
Yep. Well, something else of note is recently Trivium announced this tour.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm glad we're talking about this.
Sabaton and Huntress. It's not even like, I love Trivium, but this is kind of like when Lamb of God went out with Clutch and COC. It's like
holy fuck.
As much as I love the headliner, I love the two openers even more.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, and Huntress and Sabaton aren't at the level that Clutch or COC are, to where, the general music population knows who they are. So but they're both bands that are just extremely amazing live.
Yes.
If not just on record as well, but they're two bands that were meant for the live setting, in my opinion. Yeah. So it's just kind of exciting to see them get on a tour like that with Trivium, that, has kind of gained a good following over the last few years. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I really like Trivium's approach they've taken with, and look how it's helped them. I mean, they came around, at the beginning of the year, at the Vanguard, and now they're at Cain's. I mean, they're kind of, they're focusing on this, they're focusing on the U.S. and they're really pounding it, and I think it's helping out. And, to have a bill like Sabaton and Huntress, I mean, that's insane. I mean, and it's super smart, and they'll fill the Cain's ballroom. I know they will. Yeah. And, Jill Janis is just an insane front woman. I mean, it sucks that we're not going to be here to see it.
Right.
Because we'll be in Dallas.
Yeah.
For Slayer and Anthrax. But still, well,
I mean, we've thrown the idea around because the Dallas date of that tour is the night before Slayer and Anthrax.
Oh, that's
and Death
right.
Angels,
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
We might be able to make that.
But I mean, that's just that's one of those. I mean, just all around. There won't be one disappointing note played that night at all. So I mean, it's just, and I'm really glad that those, that Trivium has taken those two bands out. Those are two bands that need exposure in the U.S. and they need more, they just need more hype because they're that damn good.
Yeah. And it's another one of those tours that it's a good, all three bands are set themselves apart from each other.
Yeah.
None of them are really the same style at all.
Yeah. But it seems to work though too,
Yeah. I mean, it works well, and they could cross audiences easily with we like all three of them. A lot of people like all three of them. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, we saw Sabaton with Iced Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They were awesome. They were badass.
Yeah. Swedish power metal at its finest.
Yes. At its very finest.
Yeah. So. Which is something we've mentioned a billion times. It's like, I don't know what goes on in Sweden, but if there's a band from Sweden, I don't even have to hear them without knowing that they're going to kick ass.
Yeah, yes.
Before you hear them the first time. It's like every band from there, whether it's power metal, melodic death metal, that whatever you want to call Backyard Babies, that sleazy punk stuff, everything is just
kicks ass.
Unbelievable. ABBA.
I don't know about that.
Okay, anyway.
But there's something in the water up there for sure.
Yeah.
That makes people kick ass when they want to form a metal band.
Right.
But speaking of kick ass metal bands,
Evergrey has a new album coming soon.
They do?
Oh, that's not where you were going?
No,
okay,
no, but I mean, just let me do my thing here, Trent.
Okay.
I came across our buddy Trevor A. Tree recommended Nails.
Right.
And so I went and listened to their album, You Will Never Be One of Us. And holy fuck, I'm talking about some heavy, heavy stuff. I mean, this is some evil, it's sludgy, heavy, just punk. I mean, it's crazy. You have to hear this shit. And they're from Oxnard, California, which is where I'm originally from, so that's awesome. I had to get that in there. But I mean, this is that kind of, it's just like this. It's got this punk, hardcore, but it also has like, death elements and grind elements. And, what I like about it is it seems to have like an earthy vibe to it, an organic vibe in the guitars, the sounds of the guitars. It sounds natural, you know, not like, I don't know if that's a good way to describe it, but I mean, to me, that's what I see and hear when I, when I press play. And, I really don't get into a lot of these kind of bands. I admit, but I mean, their songs are just like short and just caustic as fuck. And I mean, it's just brutal stuff. Like all the songs are really short. And then like the very last song is 8 minutes long. Like for real. And it's just, I mean, it's just, wicked stuff. And it was just such a joy to listen to. I mean, it was just, to the point and succinct. And I mean, you got to hear it, you know.
Right.
I mean, if you like stuff like, High on Fire and, just, but even heavier and more grovelier. I mean, it was just insane. So, Nails, they kick ass. Thanks to Trevor for recommending it to me because I love that record.
Yeah, and that's one that over the past month or two, I've seen that name pop up like tons of times from different, in different places. People mention them or, because I guess that album's got some hype to it. And,
yeah, they're really getting a buzz going.
Yeah.
Because they cross all these subgenres without sounding corny and without, sounding forced. It's just insane. You know?
Well, I'll definitely check that out.
Yes, you must.
Well, you got anything else you want to mention before we start talking about Sons of Texas?
I know. I think we should start talking about Sons of Texas.
All right. So last week, Sons of Texas came to Tulsa and played the Shrine.
Yeah.
And way back on episode 20, we had Jon Olivares on as a guest whenever Sons of Texas was playing the Brady opening for Buck Cherry.
Yeah.
And it was cool. That's one of the ones we had a little bit audio issues just because it was real windy. It was before I had the windscreen on the mic and all that stuff. But it's still, still listenable. It's one of our early ones. It was cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
So here we are. What is that? 58 episodes later, and we've got him back.
Yeah.
And this time we've got Jes De Hoyos, who's the lead guitarist as well.
Yeah.
And just seeing these guys live again, we've seen them several, 3 or 4 times now, and this one finally get to see them in a headline gig. They had, several local and Tulsa and Oklahoma City bands opening for them.
Yeah.
And man, I got to tell you, I've been waiting to see Locust Grove just based off of like a YouTube video I watched of them like from a few months ago, and then something else I listened to, and I was really hoping to see them in Oklahoma, and then you know how that goes.
Oh yeah, no
ended up missing them because of whatever reason.
All kinds of shit going on.
And so when I saw them at the Shrine, it just knocked me on my ass.
Really? That good?
Yeah, it's just one of those bands you just like, even if you for some reason didn't like the music, which if you didn't, you're just probably a jerk off with no soul, because this is just like badass to the core. You just got to enjoy watching these guys because it's one of those bands where like all 4 of them, headbanging, like moving all over the place. The drummer, is just the same way, headbanging the whole time. Like,
that's great.
And it's just hard to put into words, just like without just saying badass or just like whatever, Yeah. It's just that straight up power groove rock. And Zane Smith is a master of that. We know that because Annie Morton was great.
Yeah, Annie Morton was badass.
And this is just kind of an extension of that,
Okay.
It's just really cool, And I talked to him for a little while after the thing was over, and hopefully we can get him on here to talk about Locust Grove and whatever else he's got going on. I know he's got a studio in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And they're just an exceptional live band. And in fact, Sons of Texas is playing Oklahoma City tonight, last night now, and Locust Grove's opening for them again there.
That's right.
So, anyway, can't wait to see them again.
Of course.
And then Blackwater Rebellion was there as well. We've seen them before. Cody Slane's been on the podcast as well before.
Yeah.
That's another good one. And, these guys they just got this really cool vibe because they set themselves apart from, most hard rock bands because they've got this solid hard rock sound, but then Cody Slane brings that, his vocals are more angsty and, they fit that kind of 90s era stuff that we know from our podcast and stuff that he's really, all his influences, are those 90s alt rock, that kind of stuff. And he really flows along that vibe with his vocals, but the music is more of just your, kind of hard rock metal thing. And it's just kind of cool because it sets itself apart in that way. Yeah. Rather than just being, just another standard rock band with a dude up there singing, so it's, but that, you've seen them.
It's been a while that I've seen them, but I know that, they're awesome. So, exactly.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and speaking of Cody Slane, Scorned is recording right now.
That's great.
And I know that they had posted that they were recording with John LeCompte in Arkansas.
Yes.
And if you're not familiar with that name, he was in Evanescence, and now he's in We Are the Fallen. He's in Nomura, who we played on the podcast here a few months ago.
Yeah.
And of course he does production work, and that's why they're working with him.
Well, it's going to, it'll sound great then.
Yeah. That's a great sign too, that they're already working with someone of that stature. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing new stuff that Cody's got with Scorned as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how was Sons of Texas?
Well, you know the answer to that. You've seen them.
Yeah, that's right.
You've seen them before.
Okay.
And this was, of course, even cooler because it's in a smaller environment.
I know. I hate, it sucked that I missed it. My work schedule's been all over the place, and, most nights I got to be in bed early because I got to get up early.
I know. You had to get up at 4 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
So you had an
horse
excuse.
Shit. But, yeah, it'll sync up. I'll see him again, I know. But, I can only imagine. I bet they kicked all kinds of ass.
Yeah, they played a majority of stuff from the debut album. They played a new song, I think.
Really?
They played, they did kind of like a blues jam thing, which Jason Carroll posted on YouTube.
Yeah.
And she tagged you in, I think, so go watch that.
Yeah, I'll have to see it.
Great stuff. And, that blues jam really shows off, Jes De Hoyos' guitar skills and stuff. And it's,
yes.
This is just energetic, it's kind of like I said about Locust Grove. All 5 of these guys are really into it, and they're just, you can tell they're having a great time.
Yeah, I love this band, and seeing them live is just, it just amps up the record so much. It's what they're made for, is a live stage,
Yeah, just that, and their sound, is, they're not reinventing the wheel or anything, but they're combining stuff and they're making a fresh sound that isn't in today's scene at all.
Yeah.
And what was that? Do you remember what John called it when we talked to him? Power blues metal. I don't remember what it was. I have to go back and listen.
It was awesome though.
Yeah,
because I remember commenting on it.
Yeah. Well, you will all find out here shortly.
That's right. How was the new song?
That was great. Yeah. I can't remember the name, but I just remember it was great.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I'm glad these guys they just keep hitting the road. They're going to Europe. They're going to Japan. I'm excited for them. Yeah, I really am. I just want to see them just keep going up and up.
That's another thing. We talked to them when was that? September, I think is when it was. Yeah. September, October. And, they only had like one thing lined up at that point. And since then, they've just been nonstop on these opening slots or doing headline dates in between.
Yeah, it just gets better and better.
And so it's been continuous, for like a year and a half now.
Yeah, no kidding.
And like they mentioned, they're already working on another album. So it's just going to be a continuous cycle. So hopefully this builds them up and more people hear about them, because this is one of those bands that should be, filling up theaters and going on their way to arenas. Hopefully, it's like they're badass.
You're damn right.
Well, let's just do it, right?
Yeah.
All right, here's Jon and Jes from Sons of Texas.
I think I remember that, actually.
Yeah, it's from my mom. She was from New Mexico and all that kind of stuff.
I've met you before then, right?
Probably, yeah. I don't know. I've killed a lot of brain cells, especially recently.
Me too, dude.
So I apologize.
Well, first off, congrats on the coming child.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much, man.
Recently.
Super excited about that.
When's she due?
At the end of November. So the 24th to be exact, but hopefully we can hold it off until we get back from Europe, Which is the 27th. So crossing fingers on that one. Yeah,
definitely.
Well, speaking of Europe, you just announced that tour with Soil and Saliva.
Yeah, super excited.
So, is this the first time you toured with either one of them?
Yeah,
man.
We played once with Saliva in the Valley, which was Rocktoberfest.
But it was
or
like a
Oktoberfest.
festival, so.
Yeah, so it wasn't really like a tour with them or nothing like that, but it was a lot of fun though, just to watch them live. So it's cool that we're gonna be able to go and see them every night and get to be in England and check out all the
a lot of firsts, man. First time touring with each band and first time going overseas. So
that's what we were gonna say. That's your first time going over the pond, right?
Yeah, man.
over
crazy.
the pond.
Yep.
We're gonna come back and we're gonna be like a British band.
Yeah.
Just watch
How you
the
fuckers.
songs.
Yeah.
Pick up the accents.
Have you got response from
Yeah,
fans over
Yeah,
there?
there's people that
I
message
mean,
us
in the
from
past
over there,
year?
man. Yeah, like fucking as soon as we announced the tour dates or whatever, even before that, I guess they were releasing the music over there.
Uh-huh.
And we got some people that were like, hey, I just saw you guys are fucking coming to England, UK, and all that shit. We're like, yeah. It's like, I'm from over here. I'm fucking stoked. Can't believe y'all are coming this way, whatever. I'm like, shit, man, that's fucking crazy.
It's really cool,
It's
yeah.
going to be cool, man.
Yeah, one, you've got Loud Part 2. Which
Loud Park is
gonna be
fucking
crazy.
awesome.
That's gonna be sweet, man.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. The album's been doing really well from as an import in a Tower Record store in Japan. So
Yeah.
that's how we ended up getting on the whole Wild Park Festival offer. You know?
Yeah, I think somebody got a handful of them here and just imported them over there and started fucking selling them and shit. So fucking, I guess Sony Japan got heard about it, and they were like, hey, can we, actually distribute the right way, whatever.
Yeah.
We're like, fucking, let's do it, man. You know?
Yeah, it's one of those places people want to break into because those fans are passionate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Because you can get over there and do like a nine-date tour of one country like that,
That'd be great, man.
I remember watching the Walk With Me in Hell documentary from I'm a God.
Yeah.
And they're in Japan, and it just looks like they're having a blast over there, man.
Yeah, man.
Damn, that's cool.
And one thing I'm looking forward to is trying actual food and beer from over there. You know what I mean? Like, just try
exactly.
their kind of stuff. They're like, all right, I've had some of this shit. Let's go fucking try some of their shit.
Yeah,
You know?
Real stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, see if Sapporo's like their Bud Light. Or if
Shit.
it's something better than that.
I bet you they'll probably fucking snark at it and be like, that's not even fucking good
That's
beer.
what I'm saying.
Here, try this shit. Like,
Yeah. Well, so you said you guys were doing an interview with someone a while
Earlier,
ago from
yeah.
Japan?
It was for Young Guitar Magazine, actually. So
Okay.
yeah, one was for
that's-
Burn Magazine and the other one was for Young Guitar. It was like via Skype, so it was like weird. I thought it was gonna be video, but it's just audio. And just asking us questions about upcoming stuff and the record and
Guitar
going to
gear.
Japan and guitar gear and all that kind of good stuff. So
Nice.
pretty cool, man.
Cool.
So there wasn't like a language barrier, someone spoke English well?
No, she had
Okay.
the accent, so you could hear that she was from over there, but it's just you would still like understand what the hell she was saying.
Yeah, of course. She had good English.
Sometimes you can't, dude. Sometimes it's like, what the fuck did you say?
Is that but trying to hype Loud Park, I'm sure?
Yeah,
It's a good
absolutely, man.
content,
Yeah.
Cool.
Not that it fucking needs hype, because you got a
Right.
bunch of big
Yeah.
guns on there, you know what I mean?
Okay,
Scorpions,
just
right? I
looking
saw
at-
that.
Yeah, White Snake, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think Killswitch is on that shit too.
Kill Switch, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Soil, we had Ryan and Tim on podcast a few months ago.
No way.
Yeah, and they both of them are pretty anti-Spotify, and I was just wondering what your guys' opinion was, being a new band that's coming up in this era.
To be honest, I don't have enough information on that to have a fucking solid opinion. You know what I mean? For me, it's just like, on the one hand, it's promoting your music, and there's people that get a hold of it that way. But on the other hand, it's like that. From what I understand, they're like fucking not paying you what they're supposed to or some shit. So I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have enough information to base a proper opinion on it. You know?
Yeah, I know that's... Yeah, you hear so much about people getting paid pennies per song,
Yeah.
the artist and the songwriter.
0.4 cents for
Yeah.
YouTube's the same way, I guess. But
Yeah, I guess the only cool thing about it is that, the more listeners you have and people finding out about you, the more chances of them coming to a show and actually buying, merchandise and, buying tickets and getting that venue to bring us back to that town. So that's the only positive thing, I think. People getting their hands on our music a lot easier,
Yeah.
through Spotify and through word of mouth and stuff like that.
yeah, I would think anyone in like your guys' position, a younger band, that would help.
Yeah.
As maybe like Soil, it's more of a hindrance because they were used to making money off album sales. But
Yeah. So we got into the game already when music was like album sales were on the decline. So we don't expect a lot from album sales. I think we're finally gonna get like
low. It's kind of like roll with the punches and shit.
We weren't expecting to get rich right away or anything like that. So I think we're finally gonna get like a royalty check sometime later this year for Baptized. It's gonna be like 2 years later.
For a fucking gas tank, you know what I mean?
Get you to the next city if you're lucky.
Yeah. As long as people come to the shows.
That's
what fucking matters. You know what? Word of mouth is probably the best fucking, promotion tool out there. Somebody comes to the show, if it's one fucking person, they'll tell a friend, other friend will tell another friend, and it's like, they come see it for themselves, and that's how it grows, man. So that's why we tour relentlessly in hopes that, we'll create enough of a buzz to start to build up a fan base,
Yeah. Well, last time we talked to you, and you were like, "Man, we're hoping some stuff comes up," and now it's like there's all kinds of stuff that's came up. So just through pounding it.
And, I mean, constant work, man. Just grinding it the fuck out.
That's word of mouth from the inside, like bands, managers, and venues talking about us, and it being easier for us to come back to venues on certain tours. So that's where it's benefited us being. The way we are with the venues and the crew and stuff, like Machine Shop is one of those places. Man, SOTX are cool. They're really nice guys. We'll be glad to have them back. So sometimes it helps the tour get booked in that area. So we've heard. So
everybody talks about that place.
That's for a good fucking
one day,
reason. Let me tell you what.
I'm gonna go.
I think every venue in America should take notes from what Kevin Zink and them.
And you know what? It's not just so much the venue, man. It's the people there. Like you said,
it's the
Kevin
town.
Zink. Yeah, Kevin Zink himself, the owner, and his wife. They fucking great people. You'd never know that they were the fucking owners because they walk in there and they got their sleeves rolled up with the rest of the fucking staff. You know what I mean? And they're like, making sure everything's accommodated and that kind of thing. And not once will you have an issue there. Not once. Well, we haven't. You know what I mean? And all the other staff too. Everybody down to like the people that do security and all that shit.
Even the radio station is in agreement with the venue, so every show is like promoted heavily, and it's awesome.
It's not a lot.
Venues and the radio stations are like two separate entities.
One of the DJs actually works at Machine Shop, so she like moonlets, back and forth, that kind of thing, and she's there, so she promotes the fuck out of anything that goes out there, man.
Yeah. What a concept. I mean, God.
Who would have thought, right?
Yeah,
those two can help each other.
There's so many shows that come through here, that we go to, and there's like 40 people there, and there should be like 4,000 people.
Right.
Because there's no promotion except the Facebook event page. And, you hoping your friends know, it's like.
Exactly.
So you guys just recently released Blame Shift as a single, and I thought that was cool that this album's been out over a year, and you got another single coming out. That's not something you see as much this day and age. It's more of a, here's the album, you pump it out for a month or two, and people forget about it. So I kind of thought that's a cool concept.
Yeah, it's just,
a little more old school concept.
Our rep at the label just really believes in us, and we're very fortunate to have Eddie on our team and pushing the record. He really believes in us, and he thinks that the album can continue to sell. So he's behind us getting singles out there. We got another single coming out at the end of the year, just to carry us into the next album. So there's no stagnant water in our careers. You know what I mean? You don't want the town and the fans to forget about you. So we're gonna have something released like at the end of the year, and then hopefully by summer the new album's out and we're touring again. Hitting festivals and all that.
Yeah. And how's that new album coming along?
We probably got like maybe 25% of it done. But we're super excited. We got a lot of ideas. We're just like like a bull inside of a cage that's been being kicked on the side. We're just ready to bust
man.
out.
We already did a pre-pro session with Josh Wilbur, so he's on board for record number 2, which we're fucking ecstatic about, man. You know what I mean? Like the dude's fucking. It was a great experience the first time. And even when he came down to do pre-pro with us, it was just like we picked up where we left off. You know what I mean? So I have no doubt in my mind that record number 2 is going to be just as, if not better.
Cool. Is it like just new riffs or stuff that you couldn't fit on the last one, or a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both, man. You know what I mean? Like for some of the stuff that didn't carry on to the other record, we might revisit it and see maybe if we can tweak it or whatever, but I like the idea of new shit, you know what I mean? Just fresh off the fucking hand kind of fucking thing, see what comes out. And we did some pretty good work. He came down for like, 4 days, something like that. We knocked out like 9 tunes or something.
Yeah, it was crazy. But, we feel like we're all better musicians having been touring over the course of the last year, so to take things that we wrote 4 or 5 years ago and put them on our new album is kind of like, well, I think let's outdo it, let's come up with something that'll get people bobbing their head or jumping up and down at live shows, or stuff that they're going to remember singing when they're on their way home. So those are some of the concepts that we want to tackle on the next album. But we do want to keep everything the same. For the people that love Sons of Texas for their southern feel, they're going to be happy. For the people that love Sons of Texas because we have ballads and we have a soft side, they're still going to get what they want. And for everybody else who just likes to have a good time, they're still going to be buying the album. That's what we're all about.
Have you guys been riding while on the road?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The acoustic's in the fucking van right now. We're working every fucking day, whether it's if it's not working on music, working on fucking chops and riffs and that kind of thing. Just keep the blood pumping, that kind of thing. So whenever we stop, we do come back to a point where we can get electrics and we can actually work. It's there.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of the stuff you're writing is on acoustic. When you're writing it.
Well, when I'm in the van, yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, just because I can't fucking have an amp and that kind of shit, so I work on the acoustic and just iPhone riff it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where it's like the phone is there, you're like, okay, remember that fucking riff? Cool, gotcha. Bring it back. Fight it through some fucking distortion and all the great amp sounds and shit. So hopefully, we'll get some good ideas flowing and have some shit done.
Yeah.
I know you guys had that acoustic version of Blame Shift. Was that a song that was written acoustically? Or
no, that was actually the second time they asked us that today, and it was the.
Sorry to be so.
No. It's cool because it's clarifying.
Yeah.
The song was written originally on electric. It was just something a riff that I had that the verse riff that shit. Fucking had that, and we brought it to the jam space, and we all fucking collectively worked on it and put it together, and we were like, dude, that's a song, cool, whatever. And then they were like, you know what? We might need to do some fucking acoustic shit. I don't want it to be the same shit. It's going to sound weird on the acoustic doing that fucking riff, and it doesn't have distortion and all that shit pumping behind it. So it's like, let's strip it down, rewrite it, and make it acoustic format. So we worked out the fucking shit on the acoustic, and it came out, I think, pretty decent, man. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I like if you've got to do it acoustic, it's cool to do something totally different.
Yeah, exactly. And
like you said, it sounds kind of weird when you're playing
Yeah,
exactly.
Mm-hmm. If you're doing fucking
triplets and palm mutes on the acoustic, you're not really playing acoustic guitar.
And I whip out any Deicide songs on the acoustic.
Yeah, what the fuck?
You're not gonna see Deicide play acoustic set.
Glenn is still fucking belting him out and shit.
Right. Well, as far as guitar playing, did you guys play together before Sons of Texas?
Oh, absolutely,
yeah,
man.
I know this cat. Whenever me and this guy first met, it was him auditioning for a music project we were trying to put together. Because I had been looking for a guitarist since high school, and not a lot of dudes really took it seriously. So whenever I would be like, all right, let's try to play some riffs that that I was writing, they would kind of like be early or late, or they didn't have the chops to keep up with the triplets. And when I met Jesse, we met in the middle with Lamb of God riffs, at the time As the Palaces Burn and Ashes of the Wake were out, and this guy knew all the fucking tracks, he was playing them just like Willie and Mark, and I was like, please be in my band. And he gave me a hard time at first. He's like, we'll see what happens, I gotta weigh my options, but I knew he'd end up being in the band, and ever since then, we had like a tech metal band before, we had a deathcore band, he had like a heavy metal act, and then finally we were like, dude, let's do like a hard rock, southern metal band. And we found Mark as a vocalist, and we wrote this song called Dodging Bullets, and right when we hit those opening notes, we just knew we found our sound, and from there we just started writing tracks. Hatchet and Trim were like among the first 5 songs that we ever had written as this band, so since then we've been kind of cultivating that southern power blues sound, and I think it's just going to keep getting better over time.
Southern power blues, I like that. That's awesome.
So as far as playing together, you synced up pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like you said, when we first met, I was a little bit off my game, so I was a little bit reluctant to fucking say, all right, let's jump into it and fucking do it. When I saw this cat jamming with the other ones, I was like, fuck. What they were doing was really tight. Like I hadn't seen that before because the band that I was in was struggling and that kind of thing, and I'd seen other bands in the circuit that weren't as functional that way. So when I walked in and heard them jamming, I was like, fuck, this is a real shit, So when he was fucking jamming, I saw his hands and they worked well together. Usually one guy will be like, fucking, oh, it's all left hand, or oh, it's all right hand. This guy had both, deadly mitts. So I was like, dude, let's do it, man, And it just worked, man, and shit that he could do that I couldn't, I fucking caught up and tried to do it. And shit that I was doing that he couldn't do, he caught up and he did it. And it was like, let's go, man, full force.
Awesome. That's I like the two guitar thing. That helps out. I think in bands.
Two is always better than one.
Yeah.
Well, not always.
Not always.
Unless it's Dimebag.
Right.
Got a question in my head. Oh, no, this is kind of. This may sound kind of corny, but with all the crap that's going on lately, do you think if everybody just listened to the first few lines of Texas Trim, everybody could be happy?
I would say so. I don't know, man. Texas Trim is a great song. We love closing our set with it because it's got that vibe, that groove that we bring as a band, and we feel like it's just a good way to close the set, to close the album, and it's just. But it's not everybody's favorite song. Yeah. Some people, not really. My mom's not really into it.
All right.
She's more of a September lady, but
it is a good set closer though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. We think it's good, man. Especially the ending part where it all fucking just explodes and we're good. Like, let me get you a towel.
Are you guys still doing I'm Broken in the set?
We haven't on this tour. Because we've gone a whole year pretty much doing it every headlining set.
Yeah, it got to the point where people were like, they're going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'm broken. And we're like, shit.
Yeah. It's not a surprise
Yeah,
anymore.
it's not a fucking surprise anymore. So we're like, let's throw that fucking, put it in the back burner for now and see what happens.
Yeah.
We might work in some new covers or something different just to fucking throw them a curveball,
Yeah. We're just not sure exactly what we should cover, There's been talk of Ozzy, Metallica, or, even some Foo Fighters, but... We still don't know exactly what we want to cover just yet.
Might completely come out of left field and throw some Lady Gaga or some shit.
Yeah. Why not? You got to keep it fresh for you guys.
Yeah, no, man, just fucking around. But hey, man, just something that's gonna be a fucking, something different,
Yeah.
Do you guys have a set I know when you're touring with bands like Otherwise, whoever, you got a set for that. But then when you do these headline shows, do you just kind of make it up when you get to the place?
That was the idea when we first started touring. We're like, we can accommodate to whatever tour we're on. But we found that no matter what crowd we're playing to, usually the same set will surprise people or get them into it right away. So we kind of don't change it up too much. We were thinking about changing up the set tonight, but usually you have to practice things before you execute it in front of people. So We'll see about that, man. I was actually in the middle of me and Jesse were working on figuring out what the set pattern was going to be for tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. To change things up last minute is always kind of scary.
Yeah, like a little bit what he was saying, like when we did a tour with Hinder. Hinder's got the more ballady type stuff and that kind of thing. So we were like, shit, man, to play Never Bury the Hatchet or Nothing King or something like that. It's a little bit on the heavier side. I don't think it'll respond well to those kind of people. But I think the fact that they knew what to expect with Hinder kind of threw them through a loop when we threw those tracks, and they were like, fuck it, let's just give it a shot, see what happens. And it worked. People were like, whoa, y'all fucking, we're like, shit, fuck yeah.
We got a lot of guys that are like, my wife dragged me to the show, but you guys were my favorite band of the night. I'm glad I saw you guys.
I can see that.
Yeah. So, it just goes to show, just be you, man. Go out there and do what you fucking love,
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So you guys got any album titles?
No,
they're not going to tell you if they do.
We've had a couple, but it's so early to tell. I think it's best to name an album after you've written the songs.
Yeah, once you have a concept of what your fucking record's gonna sound like, it's better to fucking name it then,
Yeah. So next summer, you're thinking?
Yeah, that's the plan. But with the record deal business and all that stuff, it's always, they describe it as like an airport, and you have to wait for your plane to take off. And sometimes you can't just launch a bunch of CDs from the label all at once. So it depends on who's releasing what at that time. If it's a good, if Metallica or Foo Fighters release a big album, in May, you don't want to be in that shadow. So we're gonna play it off of that, I guess. But that's the time frame. We want to record in January and release it like by May or June.
Yeah. So everything falls in the schedule itinerary and that kind of thing. So
well, you've been touring nonstop, and then I assume if you are recording in the spring, that'll be your only break until you hit it again with the new album, probably.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But like I said,
that'll put you right back in the summer festival circuit and everything, hopefully.
That's what we're aiming for, because you play one festival and you're exposed to hundreds of thousands of people, word of mouth, and especially over in Europe, those festivals can 50 to 90,000 people showing up.
Yeah, man. Like I figure, like one festival like that is like 3 months worth of club dates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's gotta be.
Gotta go out there. If we're fortunate enough to get on them, it'll be a big fucking relief, you know?
It'll be a big push for the album.
Yeah,
also.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of my bucket list dreams, is just to go to like Vakken or Download.
Dude.
But I imagine playing it would be even obviously more insane than that. You know?
Download's on the bucket list for us too, man.
Yeah.
Rock like, as soon as we
Ring.
fucking, all that shit you see Slip Out, Stone Sour, and all them bands go over there and play, you're like, just to even fucking go see it.
Yeah.
I don't have to play, I just want to go see it.
It's huge. Like the first row is like so far away.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Guys.
Hey,
Shit, man.
guys.
Thanks for
It's
having
always
us.
fun,
Thank you,
man. You guys
Yeah.
are awesome.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
You
man.
guys.
There you go, Jon and Jes from Sons of Texas. Thank you very much to both of them for taking the time out of their evening there to talk to us. And I know they had done a lengthy interview before that, like we talked about in the thing with someone from Japan. And,
Yeah.
he had told me it was going to take a while, so I'm glad that they still made the time for us as well. It means a lot, and we appreciate Jon coming back, and, of course, Jes being here as well this time.
Yeah, I mean, for them to still fit us in, that was awesome. These guys are just a class act, and they're pretty complimentary of us, and we appreciate that. It was they're very encouraging of what we're doing, and we appreciate them, and thank you guys for that. And it's just really cool to have a band that we really admire and think is really going somewhere, and it's just kind of like a custom made for us, really, the sound that we love.
Yeah.
To be so, encouraging and so willing to talk to us. It's, awesome. So yeah, we can't thank Sons of Texas enough.
Yeah, and talking about that, Jon made it known. He said anytime they're around, hit him up. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be hearing him on here for a third time at some point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
And just to clarify something real quick, whenever I made that comment that sounded, about Texas trim, and I was trying to relate to like the whole race thing, because he said, he says in the song, all race and colors, whatever, doesn't matter to me. I think's what he says. So I was trying to be corny way about it, but I don't know if that came across or whatever. So
Well,
there we go.
see, this is Trent. This is why one day you're going to learn. You leave the funny stuff to me.
There you go.
Okay.
That's right.
And that just shows you once again. Let me handle the jokey stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I'm the big lovable goofball guy. Okay, that's my role. That's what I do.
Right. Well, I wasn't pulling Deicide out of thin air. He was wearing a Deicide shirt.
Deicide shirt. So
there's where that relation came in for those of you that weren't standing there next to us, which is everybody listening, right?
yeah.
All right. Well, like we said, thanks to them and thanks to all of Sons of Texas, for a kick-ass album, Baptized in Rio Grande. Go check it out if you have not. I promise you, if you like hard rock and metal, you'll dig it.
Yes.
All right. Well, we haven't mentioned yet thethunderunderground.com. That's where all the reviews are. All the other podcasts are on there. You can check them out. They're on soundcloud.com/thunder-underground as well. We've got 77 other ones. We've had guys from Drowning Pool, Soil, Battlecross, Crowbar, Warrant Europe, Act of Defiance, Severmind. The list goes on.
Oh man, we just had Crane Technique.
Yeah.
Driver. Scattered Hamlet. Senior Fellows.
Yeah.
Gosh, like we said earlier, Cody Slang. Go listen to that one. We've had Smoke Offering, Forever in Disgust, all that kind of stuff. So get into it, yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of Crowbar, we had Kirk Winstein return, and
Yes.
this episode will be coming this next week.
I know, and this is a big one.
This is a big one?
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, 79 will be good.
Yeah. And yeah, he's been on here before, and that was great. That's actually our most listened to podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Well, and that makes sense because he is probably one of the nicest people in all these kind of things that we've met.
Yeah.
One of the coolest dudes you'll ever meet.
That's true. Well, thethunderunderground@gmail.com. Send us your love mail, your hate mail, your MP3s, your naked photos, your desire to buy a t-shirt or a koozie, your ideas. Anyway.
We're going to catch shit for that naked photo thing.
From who?
Well, true. Yeah.
Unless someone that, like some dude sends you a naked photo.
Not me. Probably you.
There you go.
But that's okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get out of here before this goes off the rails.
Yeah, I think it already did.
All right. Until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.